As we go ahead and start, we're just going to take the legs into a cross position. Hands are going to come down. Take a moment to lengthen and lift the chest. And this is where it's like we're kind of focused in on that breathing and kind of making that connection here with our breath. So scoop it in through your abs. So see if you can just, by lifting and lengthening the spine, just pull your belly button back without changing anything else. And then keeping that lifted chest, stay here. Draw your ribs in toward each other. We're going to bring our hands to our ankles. And then we're going to take the shoulders back and we're going to open up the chest. And as we do, we're going to look up and feel that just kind of bowing open of the back. So if I'm on the side, you can see that when I move back here, I'm getting that curve of the spine, like I'm really opening the chest. And then it's almost like a back bend. As I move from here, I tilt the pelvis forward, scoop the belly in really tight, a little bit tighter, and then we come back up. Inhale to come up, opening up the chest. Exhale as you tilt the pelvis and get into that nice rounded spine. So we're moving through this, coming up, inhale and exhale. Taking a few more breaths, just like this, just getting the body warm, ready to move. So we're gonna do this one more time here. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and just gently take it to a nice lifted spine. Lift up through the crown of the head. Reach the arms out and open to the sides. So the arms are open. We're holding here. Lift it up through the chest. We're going to take a nice easy twist. So twist to the right. I'm going to twist toward you, pulling the belly in. We're twisting through the waist, ribs, and chest. So we're keeping the hips stable, shoulders down. Bring it back to center. And we're going to go to the other side. Just gently moving into that side. And then coming back to center, we're going to take the right hand down to the floor. We're going to take the other arm up and over. So we're going to look underneath that arm, feel the opening of the chest here. And then on your next breath, going to the other side. So other hand down, other arm up and over. So we're nice and long. And taking another breath here, come back up, reach the arms back out to the side. Hold the arms out long. Extend the legs out in front of you here. So feet are about hips width apart. I usually like to flex my feet and draw back, usually bringing my thighs in and down. So kind of down toward the floor, but inner thighs more inward and down. So from here, lifting the chest a little bit more, coming into that twist again. So I want you to twist to the right. Again, I'm twisting towards you. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, bring it back to center, go to the other side, 1, 2, 3, take it back to center, exhale, bring it, twist, pull the belly deeper, come to center, good, and draw the abs in really tight, stabilizing the hips, good, keep those arms out, shoulders stay down, keeping that length in the body through the crown of the head. We're going to go once more to each side. And then last one here. From here, come back to center. Let the hands come down. We're going to reach the arms in front now. So arms still working here. Reaching out, holding. Good. Inhale, lift and lengthen a little bit more. So usually we start about here. Lift and lengthen a little bit more. Now, again, we're going to tilt the pelvis forward. Scoop the abs in. Come back just a little bit. So just come back a little bit. And then we're going to come all the way up, lengthen through the spine. Inhale, exhale, scoop your abs in, pelvis tilting forward, abs in tight, and then we come back up. Shoulders stay down, chest stays lifted. As we pull the abs in tight, we're able to draw back. Keep those thighs working here to stay really long, so we're not just holding here. If not, you can always bend the knees to soften through this so that you can stay really stable. We're only going to do one more of these. So one more, see if you can hold it back a little bit more, good, abs in tighter, pull the belly button to spine, and then here if it feels good you can roll all the way down. You can always help yourself down with your arms if you need to. Once you're all the way down on the mat, take a moment here to take your knees into your chest. So knees come into the chest, we're going to take time here to just kind of let the back come down to the mat, draw your belly button to spine, okay? So we want the tailbone down, want to draw the abs in, bring the ribs in, so you could feel that if you put your hands right there by drawing the whole panel of your belly in. So legs come to tabletop. Even here, if you feel like you're struggling with this, one foot can always be down to draw in a little bit tighter. You can feel your abs contracting that way. Hands come down to your sides, scooping your abs in, ribs, and lift your head and shoulders. If that feels good, you don't have to. Space between chin and chest. And then from here, elevate your arms. Extend your legs only if you like that option. You don't have to there too. You can start to lower your legs to your working angle, whatever feels good. We're going to start to pump the arms for our 100. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, scoop abs in. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Exhale, we're halfway there. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last one, breathing in. As you exhale, go ahead, bend the knees in, lower head and shoulders down. And take a moment while you're here to just draw in your abs. Again, we're going to go ahead and lift head and shoulders. So we're going to take the right knee to the chest and extend the left leg out. It can be about 45 degrees or a little bit lower. We're going to pull the right knee in for 2, and then we're going to switch. We're going to take the left knee in for 2, and we're going to switch your right knee in for 2, and left knee in for 2. And head and shoulders can stay grounded if you like that. It's your option while you're here. Abs are in, pull the belly button down like you're drawing in toward the floor. Keeping that movement here. Good. And we're going to go ahead and finish off here with 4, 3, and 2, and 1. And then from here, we're going to take the hands behind the head. Right knee comes in. We're going to twist, twist, twist toward that right leg. Left elbow to right knee, and then switching to the other side. So twisting, twisting, twisting. Bring it back to center. As you exhale, pull your belly in and twist. Inhale, center, exhale, pull the belly and twist. Get that movement here, really keeping stable through the pelvis. It's the movement through the waist, ribs, and chest. So you see that turn of the chest as you rotate to the side. Abs are in tight here. We're going to go ahead and just finish off here. Again, we have 4 more. And 3. Take your time as you really twist. Good. And last 1. And coming back to center, lower head and shoulders down, hugging those knees in. So in this one, again, head and shoulders can be up, so we can do that double leg stretch. We're going to go ahead and extend the arms. So notice my head and shoulders don't drop down. I'm going to extend my legs at the same time and circle the arms around. So I'm going to stretch and reach the arms and then pull around. So I'm not dropping and coming back up. I'm staying really long. I'm lengthening as I inhale, exhale, bring it around. Good. So as you're moving through, take this time here to breathe. Make sure you're drawing your abs in. If this isn't working for you, you can always go back to one leg, right? Even if one foot's on the floor. So up to you here. And we have 4 more. Good. 3 more. Hopefully getting more. 2. And last one. Good. And then knees come back in. We're going to go ahead and lower down through the head and shoulders. Good. So feet are together. Feet are kind of flexed here. We're going to take the feet together, knees together. Hands can rest down at your sides. Head and shoulders can stay down. Abs are in tight. I want you to kind of push through the feet, push to extend the legs, and then draw back in. So we're working a little bit here as we're scooping our abs in. Now again, here too, if you like one foot on the mat, because this is hard, ever extending both legs at the same time can be a lot more work to do that. So if we take one in, we can do that really well too, right? So moving through this, we are going to do just a couple more. And then we're going to hold the legs on our next one at tabletop. So hold. And then from here, I want you to just reach your arms overhead. And as you do, extend your right leg out. And then reach your arms up as you bring that knee in, and then extend and reach left leg out. And then draw it. And let's go ahead here. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, draw it in. Good. Abs in tight. Good. Belly button to spine. We have 4 more. Nice. And 3. Last 2. And 1. And then bring it in here, holding in that tabletop. We're going to go ahead and just draw the abs in a little bit, pull the knees in. Let the feet come down. The feet should be about hips width apart. There's a little bit of space between the heels and the hips, usually about 2.5 to 3 inches, somewhere around there. So as we're here, we're going to go ahead and reach the hands, and we're going to take the shoulders down. And then here is a good place for us to kind of work a little bit more into just scooping our belly in and starting to lift the hips kind of in that pelvic tilt first and drawing it up into our bridge. So for our bridge, it's not like we're pushing back to the shoulders. We want that nice line from our shoulders to hips to knees, and we're holding here. Good. Better to not look side to side on this one too. So as we stay lifted, scooping the abs in, ribs in, holding this. Good. And staying here for another breath. And then go ahead and hinge down. And then take a moment here as you let your back come down. Scoop your abs in. Start a little pelvic tilt. Come back up in your bridge, holding your bridge. Good. Stay here. Good. Take your right leg and extend it up to the ceiling if that feels good, holding it here. Maybe bring your hands to your hips so that you can make sure that your hips are staying level. You're going to take your right leg and bring it down about halfway down, and then lift it right back up. And then do that again. Take it down about halfway down, lift up to the top. Halfway down, scoop your abs and lift up to the top. We're going to do that 4 more times. Good. 3 more. Last 2. And 1. Lift up, hips higher, foot comes down. So staying here, 1 more breath, lift hips a little bit more, and then gently bring it down before we go to the other side. Take a moment when we're all the way down here, abs and ribs, and start to lift back in that bridge, holding here. Bring it in a little bit tighter through the belly, so we're holding here. It's not like we have to hold in that plank and resist gravity. We're going to take the left leg up to the ceiling. Again, here, if you'd like your hands to your hips, once you're there, it helps you maintain that nice line. You can do that. You're going to let your left foot come down about halfway. Lift it back up to the top. Keep length of the leg, so my leg stays really long. My hips are staying level. Abs in really tight. 4 more here. Good. Last 3. 2 more. And last one. Lift higher. Foot comes down. Hips lift 1 more time. And then from here, we can go ahead and lower down. So take as much time as you need to come all the way down. Usually on this last one, I like to roll down, push each part of my back into the floor. That feels really nice. Once my hips are grounded, taking the knees into the chest, drawing in here, feet can come back down, legs can extend out. We stretch here, arms reach over the head. Now, if you like to here, or if you don't like a roll up, you can always take the hands behind the knees. I did this one before where we just kind of rock back up to the top. I like that one too for seated. Otherwise, when you're here, if you like to roll up, scoop your abs and ribs in and start to roll. We kind of rolled down before, so see if you can kind of roll yourself up. When you're rolling up, see if you can draw your abs in a little bit tighter, really pulling in so that as you're moving through, you really kind of take that time in that movement, getting that movement through the spine as well. Once you come all the way up, lift up and lengthen through the crown of your head, and then we'll take the hands back down. From here, we're going to move the feet to one side, and we're going to come forward onto our hands and knees. When we come down to our hands and knees, we want to make sure that our hands are directly underneath the shoulders and knees are in line with the hips. So once we're here, we're really long through the arms. I like to always make sure that as opposed to my arms just hanging out here, even though we don't want to lock our joints, we don't want to be hanging out here so we're always putting pressure on the hands. We want to be really long. So that means moving the elbows back, crease of the elbow forward, tucking your toes behind your knees, scooping your abs in. Now the crown of my head is all the way reaching away from me forward, okay? So that way I'm staying here long spine. I'm trying not to bow down here or lift up, right? I'm staying in a nice long spine here, so I'm scooping my belly in and up. I am pulling it up like I'm doing a plank. So from here, my toes tuck in, I'm just gonna lift my knees just like an inch or two off the floor, just so that I can feel this length here and preparing to do a little bit more planking, right? And if that's not working for you, you can always lift one knee or see if you can just come into this however you can, right? You can always stay at just hands and knees too. From here, we're gonna let the knees drop and lift them up. Knees drop and lift them up and drop and lift and drop and lift. We're gonna do 4 more like this. Nice. Abs in tight. Keep drawing up. Good. Last 2. And last one here. From here, knees come down. Feet come together, knees apart. We're going to move into a child's pose. So our arms are in front, really long, staying here. First child's pose today, always good to come into. Rock forward, get those forearms down. You want the shoulders directly over the elbows in this, and then we're gonna walk the feet back into a plank position. So I'm holding back in my plank. Again, crown of the head is forward. Drawing my abs in and up. If you need to, you can always come down here with the knees, right? Your option. So while we're here, seeing if we can just hold a little bit tighter, scooping the abs in, lift your right leg up, lift it up, and take it down. Good, left leg is gonna come up. Now I'm trying not to move the spine. I'm trying to keep my abs in really tight. Right leg comes up, bring it down. Left leg comes up, nice, bring it down. One more each side. Good, left leg up, take it down, knees down. We're gonna come back into our child's pose. So feet together, knees apart, sitting way back on the heels to stretch. So from here, we get back into that plank prep that we did before, back on our hands and knees. When we come back to our hands and knees, hands again directly underneath the shoulders, and we hold here. So my right leg is gonna come out behind me. I'm gonna hold really long, and from here, getting some balance, left arm is gonna reach off the mat. If that's not working for you, you do not have to take left hand off the mat. Holding long, see if you can get longer and lift higher. So now we're gonna kind of add on to what we did before. We're gonna take the hand down, we're gonna take the knee down, and then we're gonna tuck the toes in. And we're gonna pop the knees up maybe. Okay, so your option here, can you lift your right leg while still keeping your left knee at a hover? If that's not working, keep your knee down, okay? Up to you, we're just gonna lift the right leg up a little, bring it down a little. Up and down. So you're either here with knee hovering or here with knee down, and it's up to you. Either way is still working, right? So abs are in, pulling belly in a little bit more. We have our last 4. Good, 3 more. Last 2 and 1. Both knees come down, and then we're gonna stay here. We're gonna take the right leg back out. So right leg is back out. Now, holding here, the right knee is gonna come across. So I'm gonna face forward. So you can see my right knee is gonna come to my right shoulder, and then I'm gonna kick it back. So right knee comes to my right shoulder, out to the side, and then bring it back. And then take that knee to shoulder and take it back. So exhale, taking that knee to shoulder, extend it back. So I'm still in that same long line, just that my knee moves out to the side. All right, 4 more. Good. Last 3. If this is too much on your hands, you can always lower down to your forearms. 2 Last one. Hold that leg out again. Hold it out again. Can you take that left hand off the mat again? Hold. Good. Can you lift the arm up and the leg up a little and bring it down a little? Up a little. Down a little. Up. Down. Good. 4 more like this. 3, 2, right arm is staying straight and strong. Last one. Hand down, knee down, back to child's pose. So feet together, knees apart, way back on the heels, reaching the arms in front. So we're definitely warmer. Now to do the other side, we're gonna come back, hands and knees again. At this point, you're like, no more hands and knees, right? Hands and knees. Left leg extends behind you. Hold it behind you really long. Good, right arm out in front. Palm face is in. We're holding really long. So my left arm, you can really see that here. It stays strong and straight, so I'm not buckling underneath me. I'm staying really long. I'm able to really reach. And then from here, we're gonna go ahead and take the right hand down and then take the left knee down. So this is where it's your option here. You can draw the toes in and lift the knees up just like an inch to hover, right? You don't have to. If that feels good, left leg's out, you're gonna lift the left leg up a little, down a little, up and down. If this is not working, my right knee's down, right? I have options here to do whatever's working. So abs are in tight, belly is in and up. We're gonna keep lifting there. Good, lift. Abs in, exhale, lift. Good, feel that length in the back of the leg here. We're gonna finish off this side with 4. You're doing great. Last 3. Good, 2 more. And 1, good. Knees come down. So kind of reset for a second, especially because the shoulders are taking on a lot of work here. Left leg comes back behind you. Now left knee is gonna pull up to that left shoulder. So out to the side, and then it kicks straight back. So you can see moving out toward the shoulder and then taking it back. So drawing my abs in, exhale, pull, take it back. Good. Again, if this is ever too much on the hands, on the shoulders, the elbows can stay down. Forearms can always stay grounded, okay? Abs are in, we exhale, pull. Nice. 4 more here. Good. 3. So we should be feeling not just in the legs here, but a lot of that oblique connection as we pull. Okay, so last, we should be on somewhere around 1 or 2. Leg comes back to extend. Right arm comes up, palm facing in. So holding here. Now we're gonna lift the leg up a little higher, hand up a little higher, and bring it down a little bit. Up a little bit, down a little bit. Up and down, abs in. Good, we're finishing off here with 5 more. And 4, 3, last 2, and 1. Very nice. Hand down, knee down, and then we're gonna go ahead and turn to face me. So turn, when you're facing here on the side, I do want you to come down first to your right side. So I'm gonna come down to this way so you can see me. You're gonna come down to where your forearm is grounded, okay? So we come down here, we want the shoulder over the elbow. I'm gonna take the legs directly out to the side from us. Scoop your abs in. Make sure anytime we're on the side that we maintain that contact. Feet stack. Good. Feet stacked is just a little bit harder for balance. So see if you can already just balance here and reach, stacking the feet, right? Without letting one help in front. And then from here, we're gonna take that right hand back down or left hand back down here so you can scoop your abs in. You can cross your right foot in front for stability to come up into your side plank, or you can keep your feet stacked. You can always take your bottom knee in like this too. So your option, you have lots of options, right? So scoop your abs in, pull your belly in, lift your hips really high, holding here. Good. We're gonna do a little tiny drop of the hips and a little lift of the hips. A little tiny drop of the hips and a little lift of the hips. Good. Pull belly in, lift. We're gonna do our last 4. Nice. 3, and 2, and hold hips high. Lift your top leg a little bit if you can, and take it down. One more time. Good. One more to lift and hold. Take it down, take it all the way down. Good. You can slide down now on your arm here. If you like to, you're gonna stay up on that elbow. Otherwise, you can come all the way down. Whatever works. I like to stay up like this a lot. Legs are up to the side, making sure that I'm not lowering down or letting my rib cage drop, right? So I'm drawing my abs in, holding in here. My top hand can support if I need to. We're just gonna lift the top leg up, point the toe, flex the foot, heel comes down, and lift. Good. Now, if you feel like you have enough balance and control, take the top hand behind the head as well. If you're down here, you can always just reach it over the head. Whatever's working for you. Get a little break off of the hands, which is good, which is really needed at this point, right? Good. So we're gonna do, this is much better too than holding with our side plank. So this one we can manage. We're gonna stay here for our last 4. Good. And 3. Nice. 2. Keep drawing your belly button in. Transverse abdominals really active. Come up here, hold it up. Hold that leg up. Good. Doesn't have to be all the way at the top. Just holding and lengthening. Can you start to make little circles going back behind you? Little circles going back. So it's really small because I'm keeping the control. If I notice that I'm rocking in the body, I need to put my top hand back down for support and for control. Okay, so I'm staying here. We're gonna do 4, 3, 2, and 1. Other direction. Good, so little circles forward here. Again, if we're rocking, we need to minimize that. We need to scoop the abs in tight. We're staying here. Good control. 5 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. And then foot comes down. And then we're going to go ahead, bend the knees in here, and we're going to take ourselves up. So we're going to come up one more time to the hand so that we can work a little bit more here. We're going to take the bottom knee underneath us. So we're going to stay here, and we're going to take that top leg out and top arm up. So it's kind of like we're in a little side plank to help. But I want you to feel like here we've done a lot holding ourselves up, so it starts to feel like too much work here. Take your top hand to your hip. What I want you to feel is using your abs. Can you take your other hand to your hip so that you're not actually using the hands, you're using your core. And then see if you can take this leg, your left leg, and you're going to see if you can just lift it up a little. Don't knock yourself down. Come up and down and lift it up. If I do though, I let my hand come down, right? So I'm going to lift up and down, abs in tight, and lift and lower. We're going to do our last 2. Good. Last 1, and then hand comes down. We hold, we lift the leg up again. Hold here, reach the top arm, lengthen here, and then bring it all the way back in. So hopefully you're feeling all the way in that side of the leg and the hip. We're going to come to the other side. So when we come down here, we're going to come down to our left side. So we want the shoulder directly over the elbow. And we come down here, we're going to extend the legs out to the side. So I like to start with the feet stacked so I can feel that balance that I'm working even here, right? And again, even just staying in this position, I'm still working with balance. So I'm scooping my abs in. The major part about working in our side lying without rocking is that we're scooping our belly button in so we're not moving that way. So it helps to stay this way, right? Drawing in, and we can take that top arm and lengthen. Now here is where we come into a little bit more side plank so that top foot can cross in front. I can always take my bottom knee down to come into this too. Your option, whatever's working for you. I do like to stack my feet because that requires the most amount of balance, right? So belly button to spine, pull it in tight, lift hips higher. This is where we're gonna come down, little drop with the hips and little lift. Little drop, exhale, lift and squeeze. Good. I'm lengthening through the crown of my head. I'm drawing my abs in really tight. I'm staying for our last 4. Nice. 3, 2 more. And then we stay at the top. Remember, we get to add little leg lift. We're just all about the leg lifting today, right? Leg lift, 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 lift. One more time. Can we lift as high as we can? And then down, all the way down. When we come all the way down, your option, if you're like, this is too much on the shoulders, I need to come down here. Otherwise, you can stay up, propped up on your hand with your elbow behind you or out to the side. So top hand can stay in front of you for balance and support. At first, you're gonna point the toe to lift, flex the foot, take it down. Good, and lift, and lower. Good, lift. So a lot of times here, because it is a lift and lower, you can really maintain the balance still with the top hand behind the head, but it's your option. You don't have to do that. Hand can be down. Also, if I come all the way down here, my hand can just go over. That way I'm still supported the same way. Okay, so your option, whatever is working for you. Abs are in. So I feel like this is the most control and balance. Even with something like this, I'm feeling so much happening in my transverse abdominals because that's what's pulling. They actually wrap around your back. So when you're working that way, you're gonna feel working to not let your body move, right? So it's really takes a lot of good control, which is why side lying Pilates work is so good for us to do. We're gonna do our last 4. Good, last 3. 2 more. And last one, can you hold the leg up? Maybe up a little bit more. It doesn't have to be to that full height or that full extension, okay? Holding here. We're gonna start to work back a little bit, back little tiny circles back. Now I do want you to lengthen your leg a little bit more. Make sure it's not just hovering in that bend knee. Really lengthen, make those circles happen. Again, if you're rocking, your top hand might need to come down for support. That's okay, right? Do what's working for you so that you can really control here, right? We're gonna do our last 4, 3, 2, and then circle the other direction. So little circles forward. Here's where I'm like, it's burning, right? And I'm still working. Good, so we're staying here, we're doing great. We're almost finished with this side, okay? So stay with me, we've got 4 more. 3, 2, and 1, and then lower down. Good. Top hand can come down. I'm gonna bend my knees in. Oh my gosh, they need that. And then come up. Second side is always the worst, right? Because it's that standing leg. It was working to stabilize. When we come up here, we're gonna let our left knee come underneath us. Left hand should be about a foot away from the knee, fingers facing away. Other leg extends, and I'm holding here. So I'm really kind of stretching open, which feels really nice as I stay here. But then from here, getting a little bit more, because we did before where we were lifting. I just want you to start with that lift of the leg and then bring it down, and then see if you can use the balance here to take your left hand to your hip, right hand to your hip. And then right leg is gonna lift and lower. Good, it's gonna lift and lower. Now if I'm lifting and I push my hand down, it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't change. I want you to feel your core working to lift. It's not gonna make it worse that you needed your hand for support or that you needed to come down a couple of times. That's good. 2 more. Good, last one. Let's come back down, hand down, leg up, top arm up. Oh, that leg is like, I was really working today, right? Holding here. Good, and then gently bring it in and come down. All right, so from here, I want you to extend your legs out in front of you. So we're gonna extend the legs out. So I always like any reverse planking options or anything like that. This is a reverse tabletop. So it's kind of, tabletop is more on the hands and knees. So this is kind of similar. The feet are gonna be about hips width apart, and you want your hands next to your hips. So this is gonna be a little bit of a harder way to come up. If you're struggling with this, you can always bend your knees and take your hands behind you to come up. So I'm gonna face my fingers to my feet, shoulders come back and down, lifting up through the chest, and I'm gonna press down on the floor so I can pick up my hips, press my feet down and lift my hips up. So when I'm here, I'm rolling the shoulders back. If I keep my shoulders forward, I'm gonna drop my hips. Kind of like when I'm doing a plank and I don't get my shoulders forward enough, right? So the shoulders come back. it is a lot to open up the chest and the shoulders, but the higher that I can get my hips depends on how much I'm opening here. So staying here, breathing belly in. We're gonna do kind of like when we march a bridge, we're gonna do a little march here. I want you to lift your right leg up, stabilizing the hips, put the foot down, left leg up, put it down. So I'm trying to keep this control here, and I'm trying not to, if you look where your hips are, even if you look down for a moment, are your hips moving? I hope they're staying up and level when you're doing this, right? And I know it takes a lot of work. Good, staying here. We're gonna do our last 4 like this. Good, abs in for 3. Last 2. And 1, and then hold up at the top. I know we wanna come down. To come down, I'm gonna have you start to hover the hips, but can you push your option? You can always just lower down and take a break there. Otherwise, push to your heels, pull your abs in. My hips are still off the floor. I'm gonna push my hips back, still keeping them off the floor, and then let them come down. So I always think that's fun, right? Relax the feet, reach the arms up and lengthen here. Interlock the fingers and take the palms of the hands up to the ceiling. Shoulders come back. Good. So we are going to do a little bit more of stabilizing in that reverse plank or reverse tabletop. One more time. Hands are going to come next to the hips. Feet open up, so you want the feet hips width apart so you have a good stable base. The hands come back, or the shoulders come back, and then we're going to rock forward, press the tops of the feet or the toes down first so you can lift the hips. Okay, shoulders need to come way back so that your hips can come up. Scoop your abs in, ribs and belly in, pull in tight, 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 hold it. Good. Now from here, this is always where I like to add fun. Okay, so before we're lifting a foot at a time, can you lift a hand? Marching with a hand. Marching with a hand, right? A little bit harder. You might notice that to stabilize, I'm almost shifting a little bit more of my weight to one side, right? I'm gonna have you go once more to each side, and then I'm gonna have you take your hips way, way back. See if you can keep them off the floor this whole time. I know that's really hard, but push back, push back, push back, and then come down. Good. And then extend your legs more, flex your feet. And then from here, lift the chest, inhale. Reach the arms up, long, and then exhale, reach forward for those toes. Any amount, or you just reach long over the toes, anywhere that you are, and then come back in. We're gonna bend the knees in, and we're gonna come forward here to our belly. So coming forward to the belly, we want to come down to our mat so that we're holding here. Good. Now, once we're here, anytime we're here, kind of like in that sideline where I'm like, don't move, I want you to feel, even though right now I'm going to scoop my belly, pull it up, you're not going to see movement of my spine, you're not going to see anything else move, but I am pulling my belly button up off the floor. I'm trying to hold it up there. My arms are reaching in front. I'm going to look forward a little bit and stay really long. Right leg is going to come up, left arm is going to come up, and then I'm going to switch. I'm going to take left leg, right arm, and then switch. Right leg, and switch. Good. So moving here, if you feel like you can get a little bit more movement here, keeping the hands off the floor and the feet off the floor, you're just going to switch a little bit faster, right? So I'm just switching a little bit faster, opposite leg to opposite arm. I'm going to stay here for my last 4. Good. 3, and 2, and 1. And then come down with the hands. I'm going to have you keep your hands down, but then let your elbows come in front. So your hands are down still, forearms down, shoulders come down and back, and we open up the chest. So a nice way to kind of pull the belly in. Feel that stretching happening here, but you can press into the hands and lift your elbows up too if you like a little bit more of a stretch. Elbows come down, and then from here we're going to go ahead into another plank on the forearms like this. So I want you to get those elbows underneath you, tuck your toes in, lift up here into your plank, holding. Abs are in, staying in this plank. Good. So drawing your abs in a little bit tighter. We're going to come from here all the way up to the hands. So I want you to lower down the knees first. Bring the knees in a little bit. Take the hands directly under the shoulders to bring yourself all the way up. So starting back in tabletop and then coming all the way to plank. So hands under shoulders, walk the feet back. If you like just one knee down, this is still a half a plank. That's wonderful, right? If we come all the way back in our full plank, it's a good place to get to whatever is working for you. Now, I'm long through the crown of the head. So I'm not here, right? And again, remember that time where I was saying that when our shoulders go back, what does our hips do? It comes up. So I want to stay long. So it really requires the shoulders to come over those wrists. So that's what I was saying, that reverse tabletop. Scoop your abs in, hold here. And then knees come down. We're going to take the feet together, knees apart, sit way back on the heels. For child's pose, arms are reaching in front. So we're sitting back, we're reaching to stretch. One more breath here. We're going to come back to the hands again. This time, last time plank. So hands under shoulder, walk the feet back. We're going to take the right knee into the chest. Exhale, take that foot back. Left knee into your chest. Take that leg back. Good. Exhale, pull. Notice when I'm pulling again, are my hips rocking? No. Shoulders are staying in the same place. I'm lengthened out through the crown of my head. My abs are pulled in really tight. Pulling in here. You're doing great. 4 more. Good. 3. Last 2. And 1. Nice job. Knees come down. Last time in our child's pose, the feet are together. The knees are apart. We're seated way back on the heels and stretching in front. Take another breath here, and then from here, plant your hands, fingers spread wide. This should be a good place to be if your hands are about shoulder width apart. We're going to feel a really good stretch when we rock forward. Tuck the toes in, lift the tailbone. So we're going to stretch here. This is like our down dog stretch, right? We want our chest to our thighs. So we're piking up the hips, we're scooping our belly in, and we're moving chest to thighs, and we're looking back through the legs or up toward the belly. So we feel that nice stretch as we hold. Stay for another breath. And then from here, we're going to let the knees come down. We're going to just shift the feet to one side. So you can still face me forward here, okay? We're going to come back kind of to that place where we started off with our legs crossed. So cross whichever foot in front wants to cross over first, right? And then what we're going to do here is take the hands next to us, and we're going to keep this. So this is kind of weird because we already have this cross of the legs. Can we keep the chest up? Can we start to pick the feet up, keeping the legs crossed? That's where we start to pick the feet up, bring the thighs to the chest and chest to the thighs, uncross the legs here. Now, if you can balance here and stay, this is a great place to be. If you need help, help yourself, okay? We can always get into stretching our legs out if it feels good. See if you can stretch your legs all the way up really, really long. That's really tight for me, right? And I got to stretch my legs first so you can bring it down. And then let's go ahead, we're going to cross to the other side. So how we're going to do that is first when you come down here, this should be like your habitual side that you just came into naturally. I want you to change it to the other side. So I just always sit this way. So when I come into a different way, I'm like, that feels weird, right? It should feel weird. Then you know you're doing it right. So when you're holding here, again, hands are going to come to your side. Your chest is lifted. And this is where we're kind of just lifting. We're trying not to go way back here. Don't lose that lift of the chest. But I have to shift a little bit to get onto my sitting bones so that I can pick up my knees, right? I can pick up my feet and balance. So that's where I'm starting here. Lifting up, lifting those feet. I'm going to separate, uncross the legs. If I'm balancing here, this is great. I'm holding here. If I need help, I'm still holding here, but this is a good place to stay, right? I'm still working a lot. If I'm able to get my legs a little bit longer to stretch, then see if we can lengthen the legs, and then take it down. Good. From here, I want you to stretch your legs all the way out because probably they needed that, right? And that's probably why they weren't going to where they needed to before. So flexing the feet, drawing your thighs, upper thighs in, reach your arms up, and then exhale, hinge forward at the hips. Hinging forward at the hips, getting some movement here to reach the hands all the way out. really long spine. So again, the start here, I was kind of reaching over those legs just to see where we can get. You can always rest the hands down if that works better for you. So holding here, getting another breath, and then go ahead and lift the chest and bring those feet back in. As we bring the feet back in, we're just gonna do one more stretch forward. This is a forward fold in itself, but really opening up the hips. So you did a lot in the hips there, so that should feel good to move that way. And then we are gonna change it to that other leg, right, or other side. So we're gonna change the cross of the legs and do it again. Come forward to stretch, keeping the length of the spine, taking another breath, and then go ahead and walk it in. And now when you're on this not habitual side, it feels uncomfortable, we can stay here, right? Make use of that. Inhale, reach and lengthen all the way up to the top, shoulders down, and exhale. Great job, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me this morning.